my children have decided over here, including this one that's walking, to take over the entire couch that I normally use to film on. So, yeah. I can't believe they did that. Day and night, all I've got to say is welcome everyone to another episode of Wine Wednesday with your girl Ashleigh Rogers of Homes by Ashleigh, and thanks again for joining me. So today I'm going to be doing my third video of my 4-part series that's all about new construction properties. So if you haven't checked out the first videos of the first 2 weeks that I did for this month, go ahead and make sure that you guys go check those out. So today we're going to be talking about the next step in getting your new construction home prepared for you, which is going to be your proof of funds. And then we're going to talk a little bit about some of the questions that you can ask your lenders when you're talking about that, as well as the contractual terms of being with a new construction builder, et cetera, et cetera. So let's go ahead and get started on that. So moving on now, one of the things that you want to make sure that you're doing, obviously, whether you're purchasing a resale home or in this case, a new construction home, you want to make sure that you are getting pre-approved or you have your proof of funds. Now, pre-approval basically means that you are going to your financial institution and they're going to do an analysis on your income, your employment, possibly the funds that you have available. There's a lot of different things that different mortgage companies will do to get you pre-approved. Once you get that pre-approval, this is basically your way of knowing how much house that you can afford. If you're not going to do a pre-approval through financing of a mortgage lender, then you can also have what's called a proof of funds. Either way, you do have to make sure that you let the new construction builders know your financial situation, so you will also know how much house you can afford. Sometimes with new builders, they may actually give you some special perks if you go through their lenders. Most times they have a preferred lender that they like to work with their projects. So if you go through them, sometimes you might get some of the perks, which is like, you know, the financial institution might cover your closing costs. They might give you discounts on different things. You just never know. Now, some of the questions that you might want to ask your lender or the financial person is like, you know, what interest rate are they going to be offering? When can you lock in the rate? I'll actually do a separate video that's going to be talking about a list of questions that you can ask your mortgage lender when moving forward with your financing of your new construction home. So be on the lookout for that. But for now, those are just the main things that you need to know when it comes to financing the home. Definitely getting your pre-approval taken care of or your proof of funds so that you can communicate that information over to the actual builder. So after you have gone through the pre-approval process or showcasing your proof of funds, the next thing you want to be mindful of is choosing the options that are going to go into your new construction home. Now, typically when you are working with a builder, most of the decisions are already going to be set onto a certain timeline. So the builders will either communicate with you themselves or they're going to have someone designated to communicate with you what stage the process of building the home is in, when you can expect to have to pay the builder, when he's going to be paid at those certain stages. Other decisions that they might do is when, you know, certain things are just becoming due. So you want to make sure, again, that, like I said in the previous video, that you're having someone that's going to be your builder, making sure that they are going to be very openly communicative with you about everything that's going to be taking place with this home, because the reality is this is your new construction home. You want to make sure that you have all of those things in place. You want to be aware of some of the options that may be available with a certain build that you're doing, and then do your research on different things such as appliances, fixtures, lighting, wall colors, materials, all those kinds of things. You really want to make sure that the builder is communicating those options with you so you're aware of what you have a say in and what things are going to become standard. Now, moving on, when we're talking about if you are going to be a person that's doing a 100% custom build of a home from the ground up, then it's going to take a little bit more work and definitely a lot more communication with the builder or even interior decorators or designers that you're choosing to work with as well. So some of the things that you might want to consider when you're going into the whole custom construction, I have a couple of those things written down here. So one of those things is like the floor plan, and the overall home design, the exterior finish, sometimes materials of the roof if you want to do shingles versus other things, other materials, there's that. Sinks, countertops, shower and bathtub styles, bathroom mirrors, toilets, flooring for all rooms, hallways, garage. Like literally, there's a plethora of things with a custom home that you're going to have to consider. So you really want to make sure that you're going not just what's on HGTV, but make sure that you're communicating with the builders or any person that is very familiar with different building materials. And even an interior designer is someone that I would recommend talking to as well, so that you have a little bit of knowledge on some of the materials or what things are going to be looking like when they're finished. Just having an idea of what your overall home is going to look like, because at the end of the day, if your house is not to your liking and it's not a home, then you just wasted your money, and that is not something that a lot of people cannot afford to do. Actually, the majority of us cannot afford to do that. So just make sure that you do all of your research and keep in mind the pros and the cons of doing a 100% custom home build, because if you are a person that does not want to go through all the work of trying to design all of that from A to Z, then it certainly is better for you to do one of the other two options that I talked about with new construction build in my previous video. So make sure that you look at that and see what level of customization that you're going to want to be doing. You can also do what's called a plan development. So in a plan development, this is where the builder has already contracted the entire area of where he's going to build these homes, and obviously has an idea of how he wants these homes to look. They usually will have the same aesthetic feel for the most part, but will have some different customizations. Now, if you're doing the plan development option as opposed to custom builds, they will typically have different options and plans and levels of those plans that you can choose from. And a lot of those things will vary in pricing, obviously, because if you want more upgrade options, then you're going to have to pay for those. Some may even have a personalized design studio where you can go in and take a look at what your options are that are available. So you're not going to have as many options to just freely be willy-nilly with whatever you want when you're doing a plan development, because the idea is that it's already planned. Whereas with a custom one, nothing has been planned, so it's all on you to do that. So plan developments are actually a really good idea if you are another person that doesn't want to do the 100% custom build and everything like that. So different options that are available with the plans of builders. They can be the interior walls, the roofing, fixtures. A lot of those things you can still customize or design with a plan development, but the builder will already have an idea of how those things are going to look when they're finished. So you'll be able to look at those options and see. So one of the things that I recommend for sure when you're whether you're designing your home custom build or if you're doing a plan development, is to weigh out your pros and cons of what you want in your ideal home. Maybe you want one room to be more elaborate and upgraded than you do the other one. Maybe you're a person that loves to entertain guests, so your idea of having what you want in a home is to have maybe a great room or a living area that has more customizations and upgrades so that you can entertain your guests, and maybe the bedroom won't have as many customizations because you just want it to be comfortable where you can go to sleep. So those are things that you want to kind of weigh out your pros and cons, what's most important, what's least important. Just really make sure that you already know what it is that you want, and then you'll see the options that you have available with the builder should you do a plan development and everything like that. So make sure that you do take the time to look into those things and write them down and just analyze and make sure that you know that it's going to be 100% what it is that you like. This video was basically about just letting you know the next steps of what it is that you need to do when you're doing your new construction home. So the important thing is to make sure, number one, that with your builder, you are confident in what it is that they're going to be doing as far as the timeline, and that you're well aware of any options that you have to design, whether you're doing custom or whether you're doing plan development. And you also want to make sure, again, that your builder has a person, if not themselves, that's going to be communicating with you throughout every step of the way, throughout the entire process. And if you choose to go with the lender that is preferred by the builder, also make sure to see if there are any perks or discounts that you can get with those as well. The bottom line is to make sure that you're getting everything that you need for this brand new construction home that you're getting. So that being said, everyone, I'm going to sign off here, and I hope that you all have a very, very great week. And thanks again for joining me and my children, again, who robbed my entire couch. One of them is probably in his own house now, but regardless, thanks for joining me today with Wine Wednesday with your girl, Ashleigh Rogers, your favorite Michigan realtor, and I will see you guys next week. Take care. Day and night, all I've got to say is